Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. So what we're going to be doing today is... What are we doing? We're continuing work on the WebSocket stuff. So that should be cool. Because this is going to be a shorter stream. Yeah. Alright. Sorry, I'm just getting set up. I'm a little I'm a little all over the place today. Oh, I think I had to do real work and it's really throwing me off. So here we go. Here we go. Look at that. New WebSocket connection. Look at that. He's done it. We're connected. So technically at this point, it's functional. Yeah, that's that technically works. That more or less works. Neat. Very, very cool. So let's continue to just completely mess with it. So we have plugins, we have OBS WebSocket. Do you think this will just work? So if I do one of these, we do boom, 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 OBS WebSocket is equal to load just this GD thing, and then we can instance this as a control. Do you think Godot will kind of automatically behind the scenes convert this into a control, this script into a control? Because this script inherits from, oh no, wait, inherits from screen plugin. Ooh. Okay, well that's fine. It inherits from screen plugin, which inherits from control. So I think I should be able to just instance the script. Maybe, hold on. Is this how this works? It's totally how that works. That's sick, dude. Look at that. Now that's a functional, please excuse me while I adjust my mic arm, I should say. Look at that. WebSocket client disconnected. Thank you very much, OBS Studio. Hopefully there's nothing weird here. Goodbye. Microsoft Store, what is this? Focusrite, sick. Yeah, so that's neat. He's done it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now we just pull at this interval. Yeah, actually, holy crap. That's actually like good enough. That's actually good enough to like break this out into its own kind of like add-on. So all you really need to do if you want to have just like a basic WebSocket, is just have this plugin here. I mean, that's it. So that's cool. That's cool. So you just add it, and that's it. Yeah. So this doesn't even need to inherit from screen plugin. Now I'm thinking about it. This actually should just be like a control. Yeah. And then we can also grab this. Get rid of the text scene. Here's the WebSocket stuff. Hello, BumD. Hoi. Temmie here. It's actually what my parents used to call me. Well, that's actually how my parents still call me. It's either Tim or it's Timmy. Because they're incapable of saying my real name or my given name, which is a very strange choice to name your child a name that you yourself cannot pronounce. But you know what? I respect it. It's a very bold choice. It's a very bold choice. Yeah, so check this out. We have our WebSocket. It just kind of works. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. So all it does right now is it just logs your message, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All it does is log the message. So we connect. We do all of the requisite authentication stuff, and then look at that. Show me. I get shown. Look at that. So we have auth required. This is all like salts, challenge, blah blah blah, and then we do all the hashing for me, and that's all kind of included in the documentation. Status 1 okay, and then you can kind of see that this is our nonce generator. So here we go. Generate message ID, which is a nonce. Hello, just get it. What's up? Yeah, ignore this authentication failed. This is the Twitch chat pub sub that I've intentionally failed the authentication for so that I don't get banned from using a stream overlay. Is this all Twitch API? No, this is actually OBS API. So this is my local OBS instance. And so what I'm trying to do is be able to kind of wire up hotkeys so that I can control, so I can switch scenes if I just have this open. So if I do like control F1, I'll be able to switch to, you know, scene 1 or something like that. That'll be pretty neat. And then this also has applications for just regular game devs, maybe, right? So if you wanted to, I don't know, like if you're trying to do a demo for your game but you just don't want to have a really long OBS recording, that's how I could see that working. Or if you wanted to, I guess, record a demo for your game and also be able to use like the very fancy like OBS transitions like this. Whoop, whoop. We can jump back and forth between two scenes just like that. So I'm thinking that could probably be tweened. I'm not sure, maybe, instead of just hard cutting from scene to scene. So it's definitely more streamer focused, but there are applications for just regular game developers or Godot game developers. I'm sure that there's already an extension for Unity, but check it out. I believe that this is the first GD script implementation for OBS WebSockets, which is pretty neat. I should probably stop doing this, by the way. It's just absolutely spamming the crap out of my log file. Yeah, let's see. That's neat. So now all I need to do is, I don't get much of the use case, but since you think it's neat. Well, I think a lot of the things I do don't have or a lot of the smaller things I do don't have an obvious use case, but I pretty much will almost always find a use case for it. For example, I think when I was making my GIF tool, some people were thinking it was dumb. Well, and then what do you know? Actually, someone else wrote another GIF tool that doesn't rely on Rust. So that became more popular. But in either case, it was the idea of having a GIF tool that can process GIFs from within your game, within your Godot engine thingy. It was a dumb idea, but some people found a use for it. So I do a lot of things on Linux OS that fit my needs. Yeah, that is the nice part about Linux, is that you can have all the scripts that you automatically initialize in whatever RC file you want. Unfamiliar. Oh, I'm still on this screen, by the way. Apologies. Yeah, I'm familiar with Linux. I'm very familiar with Linux. Yeah, unlike Windows. Well, Windows, there's still a few things that you can do. Yeah, anyways, I like to use git bash on Windows, which might be cheating. Yeah, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do really quickly is probably, well, I'll finish implementing this, and then we'll see where we're going from there. Last time I tried to create some scripts, PowerShell failed like no other. I'm not familiar with PowerShell. I know that people really like PowerShell though, like they've, I'm talking to some Linux admins who are like, yeah, it's pretty cool that like PowerShell that has been ported to Linux, right? Because there's just some things that PowerShell has that are, I guess, really nice compared to just regular old bash scripting. Because isn't PowerShell, it's more declarative. It's very declarative in nature, whereas bash, it's very imperative. So you need to, then bash also has just a god-awful syntax. And you pretty much have to write bash unless you're writing it for your own system. Whereas PowerShell has a nice declarative syntax, more or less. Works everywhere. Not the language, it's just Windows sucks. Yeah, Windows does suck. But unfortunately, that's my main deployment target. Although I should say that I think most people who use this application are running it from Linux. So I guess that's currently my main selling point, is that it runs on Linux, natively on Linux. Let's see. We're looking for status. Bum 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 bum. Where is it? Update type. There's one of these that I want. It's status. Is it status okay? Here. Where is the lolly gone? I'm sorry, the lolly. We can bring back the lolly really quick. Check this out. Look at this. He's done it. Neck is broken. And I think if Linux had better support for just a bunch of drivers and stuff, graphics cards, the newest stuff, I would be more on board with using it as my daily driver. Unfortunately for like consumer software, it's just Windows has better support. I think if I'm writing corporate software, so, you know, my job, I prefer writing for Linux. Look, I'm now a cute anime girl. Also, check this out, Juan. I wrote a thing for Ludum Dare. Check it out if you want. Look at this. One of these. Free and open source, by the way. There's a web build on itch.io. I guess there's a volume warning, since many people have told me that it's very loud. So I would be careful. But yeah, free and open source, wrote it in 48 hours. Don't mind me just reading these comments really quick. As mentioned a million times before, I do get really nervous by some of these comments. which is like, I guess this one probably gave me a bunch of ones. See my stream? Oh baby, you were there. Some horses and houses, yeah. Yeah. It was a fun project for sure, based off of a pun. I think this is unfortunate. This feedback is completely useless to me though. Too confusing to play, I suppose, if you don't read English. So the tutorial could be a bit better with like diagrams. Had a friend making a possum RPG. Oh yeah, you did mention that. Something really well done. Score of a 212. Not a great score, to be sure. But I am the developer. Yeah, I remember that. I think, did you tell me that during the jam? I think I was starting to lose my mind for a little bit. But yeah, I did not know LD had a website. The website's, I was getting into itch.io. Oh. Yeah, I think it's had a website for a while. That's actually where most of the rating goes on, and that's what people compete for. And so I think people just go through like games and rank them all down to like 1 star. But I would hope that the site has controls against things like that. So anyways, oh, check this out. I also made a transition screen. I need to incorporate this into my little stream overlay. Let's see. Let's open up a JSON beautifier really quick. So I need to see. Nope, not this one. That's just text. All right, slap this into here. So I need to view what JSON response this is giving me. So average frame time, bytes per second. Cool. There's no streaming true. Total stream uptime, neat. Stream status, that's your update type. So pretty much never want to show update type. I wonder what happens. Well, I think this is where I need to now go back to a few of the other OBS WebSockets implementations and see how those work. Make a stream overlay with lolly in the middle of the desktop fan spinning. Just a screen with fans. I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got you. It's a bit weird, to be sure. I mean, I can do that right now. I would just need to model a few fans. Right? If I go to stream stuff, open this back up, I think this should work. Oh no. Yeah. I mean, I am missing like half my body. But that's easily solvable, hopefully. And then now I just need to model some fans. Welcome to my OnlyFans. Population U. Paid to see the lower part. This isn't that kind of stream. You'll need to go to my secret websites. Wasn't there like an actual thing at some point where it was like on one of those cam sites they were it was just an anime girl. It was the most popular one on the site for a little while. Just goes to show you that 2D is indeed better than 3D. Every single time. Alright. Here's the Python stuff. Samples. Let's see, sample request. So you can call get version, make a request, set test source. Ooh, interesting. I still don't really understand the API. So what does OBS WebSocket expose? SSL tunneling? Absolutely not. I think that would be nice to implement. I think I'm not sure why you would want to tunnel on your local network. Unless you weren't on your local network, but you still wanted to control OBS somehow. It's a bit weird. Okay. Anyways, we want to look at requests. So we have request type. Now I know how OBS is actually sending me data, because you can kind of see here that it's just sending me a very flat JSON output, but nowhere in this documentation does it tell me that it's sent as just a flat JSON dictionary. I think it's a very obvious thing to assume, but you never know. There's an API that I have to interact with at work that is, it just uses raw form data as its input, and then it gives you back a SOAP response, which is wild. Project Melody dropped the Unreal Game Engine based avatar, just using live 2D. Ooh, yeah, I saw that though. I saw that. Yeah, I think it's because, isn't it? It's just easier for her, right? Because with the Unreal Engine thing, she had to use like a full body tracker. Whereas if you're just doing live 2D, you can just, you know, you can do this. Yeah. All you need is like a, more or less just like a, either a webcam or a somewhat fancy iPhone. There was actually somebody who was working on a, was an iFacial mocap implementation for this piece of software, more or less. Although I did fork it out into its own organization and project. All right, so we don't want to do this. I think we just want to assume that this is fine. So if JSON response has auth required. So how do I want to do like sending requests to OBS? So there's authenticate, I don't care. Get auth required, don't care. Get version, don't care. Set heart, yeah. Yeah. Set file name formatting? What are these? Get stats? Huh? OBS has a stats window? Where? Where? Yeah, I think I want to add live 2D support to this face tracking program, and I'm not working on it right now because I am just super burnt out from the game jam. But you know, let's see. Stop a media source. I think I'm just looking at the wrong thing. I think I need to look at this. Yeah, live 2D support is on the roadmap for my face tracking program. I think there is a Nochi 2D, which is like a free and open source, I guess, competitor, we'll say. Alternative, yeah, a free and open source alternative to live 2D. So I guess I'm aware, the author is aware of my program because I've reached out. So it should be cool. Alright, sources. This looks promising. Create, no wait, no, we don't want source, we want scenes. Give me scenes. Scenes. Alright. So, for this, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Is what if? What if? Because why would you ever want to? Why would you ever want to create a scene? I guess you could just do this if you wanted to. It's just exposed in the API just because. Yeah, that's fine. Get streaming status. I probably should not implement these on stream just in case. Just in case I accidentally like hit stop streaming or something. We'll turn an error if streaming is not active. Very nice. Interesting. Is there one that just broadcasts my string key? Oh, there is. Well, no, it's my username and password, which is more or less like my stream key, I guess. Okay, neat. Neat. So we're integrating with OBS. Yeah, I guess I should update my stream title, right? It would be like integrating with OBS. Integrating Godot with OBS. There we go. That's a better stream title. So how would you want this to work? So where's my OBS thingy? OBS WebSocket. Yes. What if we did something like this? And actually, I'm just gonna grab all this and I'll turn it into an add-on, so it's just easier for people to grab as well. I feel like there's a use case for this. It feels like it could be useful. OBS WebSocket GD. Is that a good name? OBS WebSocket. Yes. I think that's fine. Yeah. So this, like, see, that's OBS WebSocket Pi, OBS WebSocket JS. Is there OBS WebSocket GD? OBS, go, this is Go OBS. Let's go. I get it because we're talking about Go. I think I was signed out of some of my email accounts, by the way. That's very weird. GD scripts are Godot. Well, we can do OBS WebSocket. It's GD scripts, right? But what's the difference, right? Well, yeah, there's nothing here. Yeah. GD script Godot, that's pretty much the same thing. That's pretty much the same thing. I want a GD native. Well, luckily for you, you could be the first to write it in NIM, and then you can bind it back to Godot using the GD native thingy. Like, there's OBS WebSockets, the Rust version, I guess, which is the one I'm more comfortable doing. There's also Python. I know there are Python bindings for Godot. Yeah, let's call it OBS WebSocket GD. All right, we're taking it. He's doing it. Don't steal this name from me. Totally original name. Please don't steal. New. OBS WebSocket GD. He's beginning to believe. All right, there we go. There's a repository. If you want to check it out, there's actually nothing here just yet, but there will be once I create it. So this is OBS WebSocket GD. What, did I not create it? Am I just a total moron? Am I an idiot? I think I'm an idiot. Am I an idiot? Oh, it's right here. I'm an idiot? I meant that GD is not descriptive enough. GD script is more clear. Well, I feel like a lot of projects are already kind of, that's kind of the naming convention, right? So if you're doing like a GD script version of something, then you do, you know, name of project GD, which is kind of the idea behind OpenCFace GD, is that it was supposed to be the, I guess, the GD script link between Godot and OpenCFace. You know, it's almost in the same way as, you know, for Rust packages. When you're writing Rust packages, you would do, you know, name a package RS if it's just a binding between the package and Rust. And that's what this is supposed to be, is it's just a binding between my package and Godot. Or my package and OBS. Or what am I talking about? What am I talking about? I'm lost and not found. anyways, we go into OBS WebSocket, GD, right? Because also, in my defense, this is also how OBS WebSocket JS, OBS WebSocket.net, OBS WebSocket Pi, OBS WebSocket Java. Golang is different because Go kind of sucks at naming stuff, because you can't just have Go at the end of it, because it sounds really weird. So I think Go OBS WebSocket, I think, is how most Go extensions to other things are called. Or like Go OBS Goobs. Actually, Goobs, that's a pretty good name. I like Goobs. Man Goobs. What are we talking about? Anyways, we'll set up the project. There's not really any assets to be had. There's really only the add-ons folder. Yeah, so we can get rid of all these folders. These folders are useless. I really only ran setup so I could pull in my license, which is just Apache 2 with my name pre-filled. And actually, that's how you know that someone doesn't really know, or they don't really do a lot of open sourcing, is that they'll add a license in GitHub, but they won't actually fill in their name. So they'll just be like, you know, MIT license, copyrights, insert name here. Yeah. So we'll do add-ons. I suppose we can have just an example scene as well. So we'll do example, examples. But here we'll go into, well, I kind of forget how you're supposed to do this in this part. So it's in plugins, create, plugin name, OBS, WebSocket, GD. So we want to call it OBS, WebSocket, GD. Yes. Author, Tim Yuan. Version, 0.1. Language, GD scripts. Scripts name, plugin.gd. Activate, no, absolutely not. Alright, cool. And there we go. There's the add-on. Now all I need to do is drop my thing into here. I guess it's not really an add-on, right? It's more just like a library. Like, it doesn't make any sense to activate this in Godot. Oh, you know what? What if it does make sense to activate this in Godot? What if there's just like a control panel at the bottom, which is just like, hey, you can click on you can click on various things and then switch your scenes from inside of Godot. Why would you ever want to do that? Now, I don't actually have an answer for you. That logically makes no sense to me, but I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of into it. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? I think that would be fun. Godot is also a game binary. Yeah. Yeah, I think making tool scripts is interesting. It's interesting, we'll say that. So let's see, this will be OBS WebSockets .text scene. Yes. Where did it make the scene? What the heck? Where are we? What the heck? Okay. Interestingly painful. Look, an anime lady. Where? I don't see one. I'm just a normal lady. Once you put tool keyword, world turns upside down. Yeah, I've made a few tools before. The anime, have you changed your password? Gonna be honest, I haven't. I probably should. I did see the news this morning that Twitch got hacked. Or they had data leaked. I'm not sure if they got hacked or not. Does it count as a hack if it was because of someone from the inside? But yeah, it's still unconfirmed as of right now. If they're right, isn't it still unconfirmed if the passwords that were leaked were hashed or encrypted? If they were encrypted, I think I would need to change my password. If it was just hashed, I think it's fine. Yeah, apparently everything leaked. Yeah, but they haven't leaked everything just yet, right? They've only leaked, you know, just most of their entire Git repositories, but no personal data probably. Passwords on that plain text. Yeah. They're either encrypted or they're hashed. But the report said that they're encrypted. So the difference between hashing and encryption, and this is something that I learned this morning as well, but the difference between hashing and encryption is that encryption can be decrypted using a key, whereas hashing is a one-way process. So once you hash something, you just throw away the key, basically. Personal data is plain text. Yeah, well, I mean, my personal data, I've already doxed myself, right? So I don't care. Unless I hope my payment information is not in plain text. Otherwise, that's a huge problem. Yeah, only payments. Does it make sense to capture inspector or code editor? Or wait. Does it make sense to capture inspector or code editor part of the editor with a button? What? What? Are you okay? Did you have a stroke? Let's see. We'll go to friendly potato stream with your plugin. I mean, use case. What do you mean capture part of the editor with? Oh, you mean like So I like there's a scene. I have a scene pre-set up in OBS. And then it's like if I add like a button somewhere, it will just switch to that scene, I guess. I think you could just, that's something that you can just do normally. I think that's just something you can do normally. Like it's not something that I would need to set up. All right, that's just something that you would need to set up on the OBS side. God, I hate that this happens sometimes. So just slap all of this in here. Feels good. We'll do print. Hit you with a print. So I do not like to connect one service with another. Yeah, I think most of my older passwords over the years have been compromised. So there's like, you know, I guess spoilers. My Wi-Fi password is still my password from just years and years ago. But that's okay. Because my password from years and years ago, it's a good password. It's a long password, but it's been super compromised. Not seen, but like crop and resets area to capture, rect of the capture area. I'm not sure how you would do that in OBS. So I have a, this is just, actually both of these are screen captures. Well, no, both of these are window captures that are scaled up. Is it possible for me to change how window captures work? Like at runtime? I think that would have a lot of utility. That would be pretty useful, but I'm not sure how to do that. If you are a pro at doing this kind of stuff, let me know. But I don't really know how this works, right? Because you kind of see like most of my capture stuff, like this is my current scene, right? So I have my mic, I have my stream overlay, which is just stretched out to the entire screen. I have my little VTuber thing, which is just part of the little screen, and then I have my desktop capture and then desktop audio, of course. What in God's name is this? What is it? Does the anime girl make you uncomfortable? Needle mouse. Is this not satisfying to your eyes? Have I somehow offended your sensibilities. If so, mission accomplished. We got him. I'm pro. Used OBS once in my life. Actually, I've used OBS for work before. Yeah. Like OBS is sick. Like it works on pretty much every system. If you just want like a UI for recording video, yeah, I would highly recommend using OBS. So I use screen to GIF though. I think you can just, in OBS, you can remux your recordings into something else. Alright, so what we doing? So check it out. So this code 100% works. And so what this code does is it connects to my OBS instance and allows you to control it from your Godot application. So whatever you're doing. So right now, I think I'm turning it into an add-on so it can be redistributed pretty easily. So you just plug it into your project and then, you know, instance it in wherever. I don't know why you would want it at all times, but I can think of a few use cases, right? So one of the big ones would be like, I guess for streamers, right? Streamers, but if you're like a game developer and you want some way to like really quickly toggle recording on and off to capture some gameplay, I guess, like to make editing easier, right? Because what you could do if you're trying to capture demo gameplay for your game, you just take one really long recording and then you just have to cut it up afterwards. Whereas if you were to have this plugin, all you need to do is have a hotkey set in your game. It would turn on the recording, stop the recording based on your hotkey. And there you go. There's your pre-cut gameplay footage. Yeah. So it's neat. It's neat. It works already. I just need to... I think the first proof of concept I'm going for is just loading this in like so. So we'll do... Well, load it in as a tool script. I'm interested to see what should be happening. I've written a few tool scripts before, but I don't really remember how I did it. Oh, what the heck? Is there someone who's just following me on GitHub? Look at this. I haven't even pushed anything to there yet, and someone's already given it a star. Is this one of you? Who's doing this? Who is this? Reveal yourself with the Chinese in your name. And this is simplified Chinese. 喜欢电子音乐和运动 movie, some sort of movie, 音乐 music, 信一 what? Belief, feeling. 想要 something, 做一些的别的和 DIY 的. So you want to work with some 特别 special and DIY stuff. 我想要有人来帮我音乐盒 Isn't this knife? 画吗? What? I want to have people come and help me something, music, and 画. Isn't this 画? Hold on. But who is this? Reveal yourself. What is this one? Generate die. Really? Really? 代码? Isn't this 代码? 代码? Oh, 代码. Interesting. Neat. Anyways, get outed. Unfortunately for you, I was streaming, and I noticed that someone gave one of my repositories a star. And it's this one that I'm working on right now. Also, I got completely distracted. Let's see. Let's go to... Isn't it MangaDex GD? This is the one that I've kind of turned into a plugin, yes. So, also, if you're interested, I've started turning the MangaDex API, I've started integrating that into Godot. So right now, all it has the ability to do is, it has the ability to log into MangaDex. So this is MangaDex, by the way. This is, I guess, a free translation site for manga stuff if you want to read it online. It's probably one of the best ones out there, and they have an API. And guess what? I've mapped out some of the Postman stuff for you. So there's log in. The way that you actually pull like manga images from MangaDex is pretty weird though. It's like simultaneously pretty weird and kind of interesting in that they don't have a cluster of their own servers. I mean, they have some of their own servers for sure, probably. But whenever you want to get a new image from them, you need to ask like, hey, what's the next server I need to pull from? And then they'll give you a server. And then you pull the image from that server. So that's kind of how they do their load balancing, I guess. Is that the clients basically load balances themselves. I think I get it because they have been DOSed a few times. DDoSed. Anyways, we're looking at this thing here, plugin GD. So I think what I want to do, actually, how does Goth work? So I wrote Goth. Where is Goth? It's one of these, Goth. So this is another plugin I wrote before. So this is actually like a testing framework for Godot. Yet another testing framework. So it's a lot worse than something like Godot unit test, or there's another one. But see, the biggest difference between my framework and other frameworks is that my framework supports BDD tests. Oh baby. What kind of madman is he? Someone stop this man. Okay, so we want to have... Alright. We want to have a handle onto this. So give me one second. I'm gonna drag this over to my other screen. But if you're interested in checking out Goth as well, if you're a developer, I have to assume that's why you're here. Get this off my screen. I'm pretty sure reading a manga on stream is a TOS violation. Mostly because it's a crime against humanity. Got him. Weebs. Okay. So we'll do var OBS UI. Let's see. We'll do on enter tree. Yeah, we pretty much only need this WebSocket file here. So we copy the path, and then inside a plugin GD, we'll do OBS UI is equal to load whatever this thing is at runtime, then we'll instance it. How nice. And then add control to, oh no, this is the UI. Okay, so this is not the UI. This script here is just a control with no UI attached to it. So there's two things that you can do. Let's see, let's actually create a UI scene as well, just so we can actually load something into OBS. So this is OBS, we'll call this OBS WebSocket, I guess. So these will be two different things. No, I don't like that. now that I've rethought about it, no, that's bad. Let's do one of these. And by one of these, I mean I'm gonna check out how I did the UI for my Godot test harness, which is also what Goth stands for. It's Godot, G-O, test harness, T-H. But I went with that kind of idea just because I thought it would be funny. And it was. Somewhat. Okay. So this is how we'll do. We can do a panel container, I guess. Panel container. Boom, boom, full rect. Look at that. And then theme overrides. Nah. Actually, how do panel containers work in the standard Godot themes? I'm assuming it just works out of the box, so I don't need to really configure anything for it. OBS UI. Alright, OBS UI, OBS UI. We'll add a script to it. How nice. And then for this, we will copy path, go to plugin, and then instead of just instancing in the WebSocket wholesale, we'll do it like this instead. So this is our OBS UI, and then our OBS UI will load in our OBS WebSockets. So I do need to list this as a tool script so it's able to be run inside the editor. I feel like I've done it before where I didn't need to put tool scripts on just straight scripts, but maybe I'm crazy. But anyways, you are able to load tool scripts into your game as well, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. Let's see, tool. What do we want for our OBS UI? What would we want to be able to do? So you would want like a few buttons, one for like probably starting and stopping it, right? Start, stop. And then we have our scene selector. So it would probably be first a VBox container. Yeah. And then we'll have, I guess, like the controls at the very top. And so I'm kind of just looking at OBS right now. So how do I want this to work, right? Oh, you know what? What if I just steal this? What if I just take this entire UI? So we have the controls over here. So start, stop. I don't know. Start, because I don't want to re-implement all of OBS inside of Godot. That sounds really painful. Although we could. What happens when I click on a source? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm just gonna steal the UI. All right, we're taking OBS's UI. Yeah, so we have VBox, and then we have. Oop. Oh no! What did I do? I was still selecting OBS. Okay, now we're back here. So now we have two H boxes. So this is, I guess, source items, or I guess editable. Oh, these are source items, right? So at the very top, you have source items, and we want this to be a consistent size. So we'll just set it to size expand, and then set the size ratio to something a lot smaller, right? And then we'll have a second HBox container. And I think the big turning point for me in Godot when it came to like designing UIs is that once I figured out like how the UI stuff worked, it became like super sick. Right, so if you need things to be like, it's not like HTML where you can kind of control the inside elements as well, right? It's more like its own thing. It's somewhat similar to HTML, but you can only control the UI elements at the very top level. The difference is that you can have many top level elements to kind of layer on top of each other. Whereas in HTML, you have lots and lots of elements that you kind of nest inside inner elements. right? So I think the entire design pattern is different, which is the biggest hurdle for a lot of people to get over in terms of doing Godot UI stuff. So let's see, source items. We can have, oh, you know, we can have a V separator, a horizontal separator as well, just in between these. Look at that, how nice does that look? So source items is not gonna have anything inside of it right now. Then inside of the HBox container, then we'll have, looks like two things to, or three VBox containers. So one, set the size flags, expand. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Look at that. And so this will be scenes. This one will be sources. This one will be controls. Look at that. It's all coming together. And then we'll have a few buttons. So this one will be, I guess, like start. This will be the, I guess, the start streaming button. Start streaming. We'll call it change me at the very start. Well, yeah, we'll call it change me. And this will be the stream button. And we'll have the record button. So this is record. And then these all will have their own kind of, I guess, internal logic that change the button labels. Yeah. And then there's studio mode and settings, and then exit. Not really sure. Is there a way in like Godot to turn off plugins from inside the plugin? So can a plugin just remove itself? Godot plugins. Making plugins. Yes. Is there... How do I... Editor scene plugin. What is this called? This is plugin, editor plugin. This is an editor plugin. How do I disable the plugin? Oh, okay, disable plugin. No. How do I make a plugin disable itself? Godot plugin disable self. Is there a way to do this? There's a project settings thing that I can modify, but I don't think there's anything in I can change in plugins. Maybe I'm wrong. par. Yeah. That's tough. I wish there was a way to change this from the from inside of your plugin, so you can just be like, you know, I don't want this plugin active anymore. So that's what the idea of like an exit button would be. Would just be like, you know, I'm done using the OBS plugin. Goodbye. Then you press exit. Now this. That's a bit tough. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Well, first off, we want to let's just do these two basic ones first. So we'll grab a reference to the stream button. So on ready, var stream, some sort of button. Grab this, and then on ready, var record. So I think this might be cool if you're doing like a, yeah, if you're making like a tutorial or something. It might be kind of cool. So you just have like an OBS button, an OBS WebSocket thing here. You click on that, start recording from just within your Godot thing, so you don't even need to leave the editor. I don't Maybe someone will find that useful. Maybe if you don't have a lot of, you know, here's a use case, right? So if you don't have enough screens, right, you only have one screen, this is where this could get pretty useful. So instead of having to like, okay, you know, we've already alt-tabbed through, you know, a few things, and now I need to alt-tab and find OBS. Oh no, where is OBS? I have no idea, right? I think this could be a fun solution. A nice integrated solution, at the very least. Const. So this is start streaming, some sort of string. God, I like how C# just makes everything lowercase by default, whereas in pretty much every other language, a string is actually like uppercase because the string is made up of lowercase characters, which is fair, but you know, we all know, or it's not we all know, but we don't care. A string is just like a class. It's not like a raw primitive type, because in most cases strings are just handled as raw primitive types. Alright, so now I'm just kind of yoinking the stuff from it. Oh, and you know what? I might need to GPL3 this. Do I need to GPL3 this? So if I integrate with a GPL project, does that mean I need to GPL3 my own project? I've never considered that. Or this is GPL2. How does that work? So we go to OBS Studio. Is OBS Studio GitHub? Oh, this is it. OBS Studio is GPL2. OBS WebSocket is GPL2, but that's because it actually interfaces with the DLL from OBS Studio. Are these? So is this simple OBS? Is this is MIT? Okay, so I'm not using any OBS code, so I think it's fine if I just release my thing over under Apache 2. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. It's only if you use GPL code, then you need to GPL your own thing. Yeah, I think that's the biggest sticking point against the GPL license, as well as, you know, the Free Software Foundation being a little sketchy. I use MIT for everything. Yeah, I used to use MIT for everything, but I saw that I think one of the big free and open source whatever things, they were recommending actually not to use MIT, because MIT is actually not descriptive enough to describe like the license, because there's multiple versions of the MIT license, but it's just like, you know, there's the GitHub MIT license, and then there's like the really old MIT license. All sorts of things. Oh baby. Oh, is that me? Look at that. It's beautiful. I love it. This is actually, by the way, this is the VRM specification. This is the reference model, by the way, which is why it's, I think this is the reference model. Isn't this just included here? Where is this? Yeah. Let me see. I can find it. VRM consortium. Let me see. They list the model at the very least on their page. Is it this one? Yeah, there we go. VRM consortium. 3D avatar Nake. File format VRM. File format VRM. No, 必定, I don't know what that means. Something 记or 字的都大. Spent like 5 minutes doing it. Oh baby, it's much appreciated. 一般法然 VRM Con. I don't really know how to pronounce this one. Consortium. Yeah, it's cool though. I like it. I'm into it. It's not. I am looking at how it's called ducky.png. So, I suppose I am a duck. Maybe, am I a duck? Am I a duck and this is my human form? Probably not. I don't really have a mascot. I guess the duck is my mascot. It's the most recognizable thing about me. For better or worse. Start recording. Yeah, I cannot believe that for like I started streaming in like September 2020 and I just didn't have like I didn't use a face cam. I didn't use like anything for a very long while. It is only when I started working on this like face tracking stuff that I actually have something to to record. I have my snips randomly. Random. It's okay. That's probably better than me. I think most of the you can even look at my documents folder. So I just I just have the rotating capture.png. Stream.text is equal to start streaming, and then record.text is equal to start recording. And you might say this seems kind of silly, and I'll tell you it is a little silly. This is just how you would do it in like a good Java way. It's called sexy as I get why I named it that. Ooh. Is it against TOS for you to post it? Or is it just like a yes written in like a fancy like calligraphic way? On stream pressed. Then we'll do record, connect, pressed. So we're just gonna hook up all the buttons. Pretty easy. On, record, pressed. And here's the important part, is that we will load in OBS WebSocket here as well. So we'll have OBS WebSocket. You'll almost never want to use the OBS UI in your, I guess, your actual game. So I'm okay with this. OBS WebSocket.gd. Load new. It's a freaking bikini girl. Lewd. Sorry, this is a Christian stream. Please wash your eyes with pure grain alcohol to repent. So we'll load this, and then we'll do add child OBS WebSocket. Your anatomy was freaking sucks. Can't believe I thought it was good. It's okay. Have you seen? I guess this is extremely niche, but like my favorite series of games is the Trails series. So like Trails in the Sky. I've only played Trails to Azure, or no, I've only played Trails to Zero, not Trails to Azure, and then Trails of Cold Steel. And so pretty much like all the kind of female characters, just the proportions just freak me out, man. It's like this is a sex doll, dude. There is no way their backs are fine after walking for like 5 minutes. Like it was okay in the earlier games, but it's like as the games go on, it's like the character designers just got hornier and hornier. It's just a very weird energy, I think. anyways. I think there was something on the subreddit. It's like one of the characters, it's like a tooth, basically, because it's supposed to be like taken somewhat seriously as well. Look at One Piece. Yeah, it's just anime in general, man. Like the proportions are weird. Like I think I'm okay with like the, you know, you have the giant plate eyes. Their eyes take up most of their head. I'm okay with that. But it's like, please, think of the backs. No ribs. Yeah, they're like pencil people. It's or Code Geass. I've seen Code Geass a few times. Yeah, it's like from that era of anime. All the character designs are just, you know, it's just a spine, a spinal column, and that's it. Do you think this will work? By the way, I haven't really thought about it too hard because I've just been talking. So we can connect all this stuff. We don't want to do that though. Oh, we do need to do this. So we do add control to bottom panel. We'll do OBS UI. We'll call this OBS. And then here we need to do remove control from bottom panel. It'll be OBS UI. And then we also want to OBS UI free. Yeah, at least I do good spines. Hey girl, your spinal column do be looking pretty good right now. What is, like, isn't this a quote from a movie? It's like, you have excellent bone structure. One of those. Hello, what are we doing? So check this out. So I've written a connection between Godot and OBS. So using OBS WebSockets, I am now creating a kind of a standalone add-on called OBS WebSockets GD. So that you'll be able to control your OBS instance from either the Godot editor, which, I mean, it does have a very, very narrow use case, and that use case is like if you don't have multiple screens, you know, and you're doing like a tutorial or something, it might be nicer just to have OBS available from within the Godot editor. It works, huzzah! And then we should just be printing a million things per second. Look at that. So right now this is connected to my OBS instance and is now just printing the output. And then I guess the second use case, right? So if you're making a tutorial and you only have one monitor, then it might be nice to be able to control it from here. These buttons don't do anything, and I'm also not able to click them for whatever reason. So that's neat. The second use case is if you know, you're a game developer, you're trying to you know, create a demo video for your game, right? There's a few ways that you can go about doing it with OBS. And OBS, I would highly recommend, if you're creating a demo video, you should just use OBS. There's not really any reason to use any other software. Maybe you could use Streamlabs, but that's based off of OBS anyways. Yeah, so you could just create like a big mega recording, and then have to cut up the recording later with all the best bits. Or when you're creating the demo for your game, you just hit the hotkey whenever you're about to do something cool, and it's already cut for you. What do you think? What do you think, Mojo Rider? I think that makes sense. It's kind of a narrow use case, for sure. I'm sure that other people could think of better things to do with OBS, but, you know, I think all I'm trying to do is add the kind of hookup. Yeah. When 4.0 drops, I think interest in Godot content will increase exponentially. This will definitely help niches good. Oh, you know what? I could probably also just port this to... Actually, I barely even need to do anything to port this to Godot 4. This should just work in Godot 4, since all it does is it uses... yeah, this is all it does. Like, this is a fairly simple script. The hardest part is authenticating, which is this part right here. And then also, remembering that WebSockets created inside of Godot default to binary write mode. So you need to explicitly set the write mode to text. Otherwise, you will never be able to connect to OBS. And that I spent most of yesterday's stream just banging my head against the wall until I remembered, oh, I ran into this problem before with Twitch. But yeah, niche is good. Niche is good. I think that's pretty much everything I work on though, right? Like this is already like a really niche piece of software. It's already very niche. I work on a lot of really weird niche pieces of software, right? Like I wrote a test harness for Godot, as mentioned about a million times. It's worse than all the other ones, except that mine supports BDD tests. How are you feeling tonight? Hello, Rogue Nation. I had to look it up later, actually. Your name is Rogue Nation, not Rogue Knight. I'm very sorry. I've been mispronouncing your name. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Gonna be honest, the 2 days after the game jam, I just slept for like 12 hours straight each day. Just completely exhausted. Any chance you will build Ludum Dare? What do you mean build Ludum Dare? An optimizer? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like do like a version 1.1 for my Ludum Dare game? And also, by the way, for all the new people in chat who may or may not be here, I did write a game for Ludum Dare, and then you can check it out here. Have some weird comments for sure. Game is too confusing to play. I don't really understand that one, but maybe English isn't their first language. The tutorial is written in English, so yeah. Cool, that speeds up workflow. What kind of workflow would you want? I'm not sure which workflow. Ludum Dare, Lud, Bonk. What kind of tool would you be looking for? I guess I don't really understand. Could you enlighten me? Funk on record pressed. I think working on tooling is actually one of my favorite things. I don't know why. Like working on, I've explained this before, but it's like working on games, it's too open-ended. There's no defined end states. And even if you do accomplish the end state for, you know, your game idea, it might be bad. You know, it might not feel fun to play. Whereas when you work on tools, you know, you want to say like, oh, I want to hook up to, you know, OBS, and you achieve, you know, even if your code is garbage, as long as you hook up to OBS, I'm like, wow, that's neat. It works. Funk will do is streaming, I guess. So false, and then var is recording, also false. So this is actually kind of tough. Right? Because, actually no, this isn't. So the idea here, so we have a few variables. We have is streaming and is recording. I do need to remember that you can also just click on OBS itself to stop doing all these things. So I'll need to also like listen for outputs from I guess OBS or from the WebSockets. Tools for creating basic sprites, models, sound effects, BGM, CG, texture, dialogue, AI generate idea suggestions in complete 7 minutes instead of hours. I have considered working on I guess like an in-editor, like almost like a game maker style like in-editor sprite thingy. I thought that would be cool because I haven't really seen too many of those. Or if I have, they're a little too basic or they're a little too complicated, so they don't really work. Look at this. Some needle mouse artwork. Very, very JoJo-like. I like it. Yeah. Better than whatever I can do. Nice. Alright, so in OBS WebSockets, we do need to be able to broadcast out several signals. So we can do, I guess, like updates from OBS itself. So there's like signal, OBS update. I don't like it a lot. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Faces look weird. Yeah, I mean, that's just like a JoJo style, right? JoJo's is like not really like super anime. It's a kind of their own. It's recognizably different from your standard anime style. OBS updated. So then we'll have, I don't know, updates. Update data, I guess, and then this will just broadcast out. Well, this will pretty much just forward the raw JSON out to whoever wants to listen to it. I think that makes sense. I adapted to my new style, so it might be why. Yeah, possibly. On OBS updated. I think it just might be like, if it's something they haven't looked in a while, it'll always look a bit foreign to you. Just like whenever I go back to my old code, I find it really hard to just, you know, continue development on my old stuff. Because my old stuff is like, who wrote this? Who made these decisions? It's, oh wait, I made these decisions. Oh wait, I'm the idiot. That makes sense. OBS updated. And so, you know, it happens in all fields. Like whenever I go back to like my old, you know, music compositions, I'm just like, this is just a horrible. Who would ever write something like this? There's not enough dissonance. Which sounds counterintuitive, right? Since if you're talking about music, you generally want to avoid dissonance. However, I feel like, and I don't have any formal, well, I have very little formal music education. In terms of like music performance, I have a pretty good amount, right? Because when I was in high school, was the best in my year in violin, so that made me concertmaster for a little bit. And then I moved on to the big boy orchestra, and then the highest chair I got was 6th. But 6th chair first violin, not too bad. Considering that I didn't start playing violin when I was like 4 years old. I only started in middle school. I was already made like 5 months ago. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. You know, it's not overtly ugly. The proportions aren't too bad. I think the eyes are a bit high up, but I think that's just the JoJo style anyways. I think the thing that gets me is when people do like arts, right? And they do like art that's like really high up. So they do like, here's your standard head. And then they'll do like really high eyes, right? But when you're doing like faces, you're supposed to do like, here's your jawline. And this is kind of your midpoint. So then you want your eyes to be like, kind of like, And then you want to, probably this is like, we'll make them really angry like that, and then you'll something like that, right? And then you'll draw in the rest of the line if you're going for an anime style. That's as far as I understand. And then, right. I think my eyes are actually still too high up. Honestly, I don't draw. I understand the idea behind drawing. I just need to practice more. Violin, guitar, can you do drums and clarinet? I can do drums. I know how to play a drum set. I can fill in for a rock band. You would not want me to fill in as the drummer, but I could. my sense of rhythm is really, really bad. Alright, so OBS data, OBS dictionary, and then on string pressed. And then we can also call these functions from OBS dictionary depending on which things are pressed. Unfortunately, I can't really test out the start streaming button. That might be a bit dangerous. Hard to say. But we can build in an API at the very bottom, which is like send command. Ever use design doll from Doll Altair? That sounds familiar, but I'm not. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember anything about that. And then we'll also look at. We'll just look at things that people. Oh, it might be giving me away my. Oh, you almost got me. Did you spell it correctly? What's design doll? Design doll. Oh, Doll Atelier. One of these. Isn't that how you spell it? That's how you say it, Atelier. How do you spell, or how do you say Atelier? Is that Atelier? Atelier. I don't have my headphones on, actually. Atelier. 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 Hold on. What? Excuse me? What? 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 See, French is one of the ones where I just have no idea what they're saying, man. Unfortunately, like Atelier. Atelier? Isn't it? It's atelier. Is that what they're saying? Atelier. 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 Why is she saying it like that? Atelier. Isn't it atelier? Or am I? Is that like a really American way of saying it? Atelier. We're Italian now. Meatball and spaghetti. That might be what I'm going for. What is this? Look at that. Oh, yeah. You got the top of the head right there. Very long dome piece. I like it. I like the kind of cross-hatching shading along with just the regular shading. It gives it a bit more texture. Atelier. Is it? Oh, is it atelier? Atelier. Oh, but this is like a posing thing, right? Yeah, I think I actually have something somewhere. Pose practice? Yeah. Pose practice. I forget, does this one show naked people? Please don't show naked. Yeah. Line of action. I've done this a few times. I tried to get better, and I think I did get a little better at drawing poses, but I'm not actually drawing real people, it's just like the circles. I'm like, okay, well now I know how to draw the circles where your joints are supposed to be. I'm still pretty bad at drawing actual people. The characters for I'm working on with some people. Nice. Comics. I wish I could draw. Is it like a Western style comic, or is it a Japanese style? Isn't like the big part between like Western style comics and Japanese style is like the it's like the story structure or something where I don't even know. That's something I know almost nothing about. Takes the guesswork out of proportions. Yeah, proportions, or like how humans or human bodies actually like work. I think it's pretty obvious to see when someone does like, you know, a pose without a reference. It's because they'll just horribly mess it up. Maybe a person who does advertisement merch and character artist. Ooh, character artist. Command string and then I guess data, which is some sort of dictionary, and then also totally optional. Right, so here we go. This is our OBS WebSocket library. This is the one that you can just integrate straight into your application. Western, I would say, you're not taking some Japanese influence. Very nice. I can respect that, especially if you're not trying to like, you know, what's the thing I'm talking about? What's the thing I'm thinking about? You're making your comic read like from right to left for no reason. I think that would be a bit cringe. That'd be a bit cringe, in my opinion, if you're not, I guess, writing for a Japanese audience. I think if you're trying to appeal to weebs, though, you might want to do right to left. I'm gonna be honest, whenever I read comics now, or whenever I read like Twitter comics, or whenever Twitter comics have anime, you know, characters in them, I actually read them right to left. Yeah, manga is right to left. Yeah. I read a lot. I read a lot of manga. Actually, if you're interested, you could even just check out what I'm reading right now. Look at this. Some of these are kind of garbage, for sure. Some of these are kind of garbage. This one, So no Freiren, that's a very good one. This one I haven't read in a little while. This one is good, but I haven't read it in a little bit. I haven't read this one like at all. I have no memory about what Dungeon Master is about. Shadow's House, 10 out of 10. So no Freiren, 10 out of 10. We should now begin ethics. That's like a 7, maybe an 8 out of 10. Ignore this one. There's some good ones out there. I do like just reading like really horrible isekai. Something about me, something about it. It's like eating like junk food, right? Reading isekai manga, that's junk food, dude. Junk food for the mind. You know it's horrible. It's not very good quality, but it does feel really good to consume it. Nagatoro, yeah. 20ないで Nagatoro-san. You can check out my Annie list if you want to see what I guess my Annie list isn't actually up to date. I have an anime list if you want to check it out, where I have just a bunch of things. GBI, FBI, QFI, QED. What's the, I guess here's a trivia question. What was the first emergency signal put out by the Titanic? Hint, I've already said it before. So okay, let's see. Let's bring back the API that I was looking at. This is the VRM stuff. If you said that the first emergency signal put out by the Titanic was QED, you would be correct. SOS, no. SOS was not in common use at the time. So really, I believe it was actually QED. You might want to fact check me there, but I'm pretty sure they sent out QED instead of SOS. SOS was one of the later ones they sent out. But I don't know what QED stands for. I think QED is just like a weird sequence of letters that you would never want, that you would not hit by accident, and that's why they chose it. QED, I don't know. QED, Morse code. CQD, I'm wrong. CQD. One of the first distress signals. I'm dumb. It's not QED, it's CQD. I knew it had a Q, I knew it had a D, and I was like, I don't know, C, E? That's like the same thing. The call to be given by ships in distress or in any way requiring assistance shall be CQD. But yeah. Look at this. Here we go. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Here it says, the 15th of April, 1912, the RMS Titanic radio operator Jack Phillips initially sent CQD, which was still commonly used by British ships. It's not QED, I'm sorry. I lied to you. I was half right. And you know, we round these up to just one. We round these up to the number farthest away from 0, so now I'm fully right. Yeah, CQD is not QED. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can forgive me for this transgression. Yeah, see that's one of the weird things of just weird trivia that I just randomly know. CQD. Cause I guess I have actually just read, or not read, I like the entire recording of the Titanic, and like the radio communications between them all is just on YouTube. Ever played Trivia Crack? I've played regular trivia. I've not played Trivia Crack. I played like bar trivia before. That was fun. Back when, in the before times. In the before times. When you could still go out to bars without a mask. So is streaming false? Wait, no, we can just do this at the very end. Is streaming, so we'll just toggle it, not is streaming, right? You sound older than me? What? Going out to play bar trivia is that's like a young person thing. People actually still go out to do that, like normally, like my age, you know. It's fun, you know. If you like trivia, if you like drinking, just go out to play trivia at a bar. Heck yeah, dude. Although I do hate how a lot of trivia, at least where I'm at, is mostly like, hey, who wrote this song in like the 1960s? Man, I don't know anything about songs. I know how to play songs. I like to listen to music, but man, I do not care about who writes the music. Overlord, Code Geass, Death Note are 3 of my favorite anime. Heck yeah. Code Geass is sick. Well, season 1 of Code Geass is sick. Season 1 of Death Note, super sick. Overlord, I've only seen season 1, I think. I think there's a season 2. Did I see season 2? I see Darker Than Black on your list. I think it's underrated. What is Darker Than Black again? I don't remember anything about Darker Than Black. Wait, is Darker Than Black? It's the one where they are mercenaries and they take on jobs. Darker. What is Darker Than Black? Yes, something like that. I'm struggling to remember what it's about though. Oh, he's not a mercenary, but he's a psychic agent. Yeah. And then yeah, there's the girl. Yeah, and then this is their handler. When I went to bars, it was for selfies with strangers. Man, I hate talking to strangers. I think it's easier over the internet, right? Because I can just imagine that you are all just bots. And that's why I'm ready to ban you all at any time. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't mind just talking to the void, you know? But I think when I'm talking to people, I get really stressed out. Especially when I'm talking to people in groups. Yeah. Yeah, anti-hero anime though, pretty sick. I'm kind of over watching anime though nowadays. Like I still have not seen Demon Slayer. Cause I don't know, I just don't want to. I don't have that kind of time anymore. Like I need to finish watching Dark on Netflix, and then I hear Squid Game is pretty good as well. And so those shows are like really long, right? So if is streaming, then we'll do OBS WebSocket send command. What is the command? Stop streaming. I guess we can actually test this. I probably shouldn't test this out live on stream. That might be a problem. I would be called BS at this point, but we'll humor you. What? I think there's a difference between talking to the void and then talking to a real person. Right? If you're talking to a real person, then you need to actually listen to what they're saying and respond in real time. Right? And of course, in this point in time, like when you're watching just a streamer, you kind of just have to go along with whatever they're talking about. Whereas when you're talking with a real person, you can't just be like, yeah, that's cool. Anyways, let's keep talking about my code. Am I right? You know, there's a difference between those two things. Right? Here, you're a captive audience. You have to listen to me ramble on about whatever I want to talk about. Whereas talking to a real person, it's like, we can talk about my job, I guess, and I can listen to you talk about your job, but like I don't really care. You know? Okay, so these are all optional. Stream configuration, blah blah blah. Squid Game will make you depressed. Plus Squid Game is 9 episodes. I'm into the depressing shows. 10 out of 10. Try me. Have you watched Requiem for a Dream? I think that's one of my that's for whatever reason that's one of my favorite movies. Requiem for a Dream. Let me see. What was it called? Oh no, what is it called? It's Memento Mori? Is that what it's called? Memento, pretty sick as well. Big fan of that one. Must have met a lot of rude people in your life. I think that's a lot of people actually. It depends on how you approach conversations, right? I think I've been told before that I'm a little too intense in I guess a one-on-one conversation. Like some people get kind of weirded out, and I if only because I actually pay attention. Like if you say something, I actually remember it until the end of the conversation. Unless you say your name, in which case I will just completely forget it right after you say your name. But anything else that's like remotely interesting, then I'll be like, oh, okay. Then I'll bring it up again and be like, wow, you actually listened to me. That's weird. I don't like that. You know? I think a lot of, you know, this is, I guess, a kind of a weird take. A very pessimistic take is that a lot of just random conversations with people is just, like, just doesn't matter. That's how a lot of people approach conversations. It's like, oh, okay, let's just, like, talk to fill the time. Where it's like, I'd rather not talk to fill the time. I'd rather just kind of, like, blank out and just kind of stare at space. Because that's a lot easier on my psyche. And also, I think this'll work, right? By the way, is recording. Yeah. So, is it possible I've met a lot of rude people in my life? I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's just my general experience, is that whenever I talk to people, you know, most people aren't there to actually talk. Most people are just there to fill the time. Which is fair enough, you know? You know, you're bored, and thus you're talking to me. And then pretty much right after, like, when something more interesting starts happening, then you'll just stop the conversation. Dead stop. Like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. I get it. And that's now that I've said that out loud, that sounds very depressing, but you know, what can you do, am I right? Yeah. I guess at work, that's pretty much how most conversations go as well. It's like, you know, you have your requisites, like, oh, How you doing today? I'm doing all right. How about yourself? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, when people do like, how are you doing? They're not asking like, how are you doing? They're asking, are we ready to start talking? I'm doing all right. Yeah, and you? Yeah. Okay, now we're ready to start talking. You know. And then when people start talking about like, oh yeah, this is what I did on the week, I'm just, please shut up. I do not care. No one here cares. How does no one else, how do like the 3 out of like the 20 people on this call, like 3 people don't understand? It's like, no one wants to hear you talk about your weekend. Same with stream, people switch off when something important comes up, don't interrupt to say bye. Yeah, I mean that's to be expected though, right? Because we're not face to face, right? If you're face to face with somebody, and you just be like, nah, I'm piecing out of the conversation immediately. That's rude. Right, they'll be like, well, I guess it's not rude, but it's kind of like, it's okay. Depending on how you approach it. Whereas streaming, it's like, I can't see you, and you can't see me. So it's okay if you just kind of say goodbye. You know what, let's give this a try. You wanna see if this will work? Wanna see if this will work? So we go into our project settings, enable. New WebSocket connection. I'm excited. I still can't click on it. Ah! Because you have some output. What happened? So we're able to connect. Sure, I know this. But I'm not able to click on my buttons because I'm dumb and something is wrong. There we go. WebSocket client disconnected. So it's one of these things, right? God, I hate how Godot scenes work like this. Is it this one? Is it you? Is it because I'm adding you as a child? Yeah. I think but yeah, going back to like the the conversation thing, it's like when I was a lot younger, I think I used to take a lot of conversations a lot more, I guess, seriously. And that kind of like impacted my mental state pretty negatively. But now that I'm older now, more life experience, kind of realize like, oh, people just most people aren't here to actually talk to you. They're more here to just pass the time, unless you're important. In which case, they're still not here to talk to you, but they're here to make an impression on you, if that makes sense. Right, and that that's fair enough. Don't take it personally. It's just business. It's just business, baby. Pass. Is this pass? This is stop. Pass. Why am I not able to click on these? So something is eating my input, so that's really cool. I feel like this happens a lot. So we can try opening up a few other things. I've done this before though. So in our plugin.gd, let's see, add control to bottom panel. Is there anything else I had to do here? So there's like, I needed to connect some stuff. Exit tree, disconnect. No, that's it. How about in the UI stuff? What did I have to do? No, I just connected buttons. Am I crazy? Am I doing something wrong? So this is it. There's nothing else here in the UI stuff. I guess technically, OBS WebSockets is here. Am I dumb? We do this, enable. So something is eating my inputs. Something is eating my inputs. I want to, all I want to do is test out the recording function. And is that too much to ask? All right, let's just give this a reload. Sometimes this kind of freaks out What no GD script still looks like spaghetti to me. Really? Do you know Python? I think Python, if you're used to Python, this should be still, it should still be pretty good, I think. It's fairly readable, IMO. What? New WebSocket connection. How? Where? Nothing should be connected. Do I have 2 WebSocket connections open? Hey. Hold on. I'm feeling pretty dumb right now. But there's probably a good reason for this. So WebSocket client disconnected. That's good. No PHP and HTML. Ooh, PHP, I'm very sorry. Hopefully it's modern PHP and not ultra old PHP. I know there are people that still have to do like PHP like 5 or whatever. And that's rough, buddy. That's rough. Alright, we go into this project. So this is the Laravel. Oh, Laravel is pretty modern, yeah. That's fair. That's fine. I think if you're still maintaining like a really old WordPress site, you might be stuck in, you know, PHP purgatory. Why am I not able to click on these? So this is what the Goth UI looks like, right? Yeah, I don't do too much PHP. And by do too much PHP, I pretty much never have to touch PHP. You know, I do the standard web stack, so you do JavaScript, HTML, and then try not to touch CSS as much as possible. You know, Java, Python, Python 2. I did Python 2 as my first language. So once you learn, or I guess once you kind of like, you know, lock that in with your brain. Yeah, this one hover hints. Yeah, unlike the one that doesn't work. I don't really know what the difference between these two is. What I do know is that the other one is done better. See, this one has just a color rect in the background, which is not what you want to do. This is a really inefficient way of doing the UI. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, this is it. We have another margin container. So like an outer margin container, and then an inner margin container, which is just horrible, and then another margin container. I don't know. I gotta think about this. I know that there is a button inside of the editor to just switch projects or go back to the project list, but the last time I did that, it also wiped out all my editor settings, so I'm trying to avoid clicking that button, just in case it just breaks everything. Let's just enable the plugin. Yeah. So why is this? Is it because... Let's give this a test, right? So we can go to add-ons, and then if I'm able to open up... What? If I'm able to open up this thing just by itself... Alright, so that's a problem. We have multiple WebSocket connections, by the way. I don't know where the other one is coming from. Now I have 2 WebSocket connections. WebSocket client disconnected. That's very weird. Godot is a bit weird about... Oh, you know what? Is it because OBS UI... I need to do this. Exit tree. we need to do OBS WebSocket. Can I just force this to free? Is that how that works? How does it work? You can't use two of the same port? Yeah, I don't know how it's working. I have no idea. I guess it's not. Like it's hammering the port and then I can disable it. WebSocket client connected, but we're still getting, I have no idea. I can't tell you. It's using the same port. They're all using port 4444. Also, is anyone good at UI or icons? Because here's an idea. Oh, is it just running it? So it's running this. Whenever I open this scene in the editor, it's running it. That's so bizarre. Yeah, OBS WebSocket. Oh, it's because of this WebSocket, right? So this WebSocket, I need to change several control things on it. So we can do like the focus stuff. So mouse filter. Yeah, mouse filter to mouse filter ignore. That's why, because I'm doing it kind of directly like this. So there's a text scene part of it that you can use. I really should be using the text scene, I guess, instead of just the GD file. Yeah. So we do text scene instance, one of these, then that should work. If we go to plugins, enable, yeah, because it wasn't listening to me. Yeah. So now we can, let's see. Want to see if it'll start recording if I press start recording? Let's see. Woo. Anything? We're connected to the same port, which is bizarre. Yeah, see, I'm getting, I have no idea how it's able to connect. I guess these are clients, and then my OBS WebSockets, like in the actual OBS application, this is a WebSocket server. So we can connect to the same ports multiple times, and then I guess it just kind of load balances itself. That's very weird though. I'm gonna close it just so it stops doing it twice. Yeah, I suppose like the actual, this thing should be yeah, like these are just clients, and then everything else is you know, the server just handles it somehow, load balances somehow. I don't know. I don't actually know how ports work. Can't you connect? You can connect multiple things to the same port. Like you can have multiple people SSHing into the same server at the same time, right? And so if you're connecting via SSH, you're connecting to ports 443. So everyone's just communicating over port 443 on the same server, right? Is that not how that works? Yeah, so I have to assume that this works in a similar way. Oh, we don't actually send the command, by the way. That's why. That's why it's not working. So we need to go to projects, go to plugins, disable this. Now, so we actually need to do OBS client get peer 1 put packets command. This is actually not what you're supposed to do. Command to UTF-8. Save. Yeah, it works behind a server silo. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you're coming to this stream wanting to know more about how things actually work, you've come to the wrong place. You know, I use things and they work, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. we'll do data dot message ID is equal to generate message ID. Alright, that's not how you do it. Do this. One of these, yeah. So I use just this data object, so just make sure to never pass in the message ID. I generate these for you. So data message ID, and then the data request type will be whatever command you pass in. And then we'll do JSON print data to UTF-8. Yeah, that should work. Right. So this is, this is how we do all the authentication. So I create a dictionary here. This dictionary consists of a message ID with just a generate message ID. So this gives me back request counter plus equals 1. And the request type is whatever these are. And, same thing for here. And so I'm doing the same pattern. This is the same pattern. This is the exact same pattern. So we get the first peer because for whatever reason, the Godot's WebSockets implementation is 1 indexed. It's not 0 indexed. Very cool. Very cool. But anyways, let's go into plugins. We'll try it again. We'll see a little thing pop up in the... Oh, you can't see the thing pop up in the bottom right because I'm covering it. You can maybe make your Stream Deck with an Android phone? Absolutely not. Why make my Stream Deck with an external device when I have a Stream Deck right here? I just need to hit a hotkey as opposed to I need to have like my phone on the side. I suppose I could still do it, right? Like it's not too hard as long as I'm on, LAN. I do have another computer just off to the side, so I could. But this is more interesting. Same Wi-Fi? Yeah. But this it's just IP. Yeah. You need to find the IP and connect to it somehow. But doing it this way means that I, 1, don't need another device. It all works on a single device. And 2, no one else has done it before, so I'm going to... I'm doing it. We're doing it. Start recording. RIP. RIP. What happened? Oh, you know what? I think I do need to stop just printing out like update type stream status. That's a bit too much. We can do if JSON response has update. If not, if JSON response has update type and JSON response update type is equal to stream status. I guess we'll just return. Different device means an extra feature, so you can use mobile phone sensors. Well, I think that actually already exists. What you're kind of describing, using a different device as a kind of a stream deck, yeah. So there's already OBS web and then OBS tablet remote. So yeah, people have already done it. So I don't need to. I'm not interested in doing what other people have already done. We don't need to re-implement the wheel, only if we need to re-implement the wheel for something that's completely different. Let's re-implement the wheel for something that doesn't have wheels. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Okay. I think this is fine. And then we can do, let's just print out data as well, just so I can see what this is. Do one of these. We'll do not export. We'll do project settings, enable. So we'll connect to my OBS instance once again. Don't click start streaming. Click start recording. What do we got? Ooh. I hooked these up to the wrong things. Did I stop my stream? I didn't, I'm still streaming. These are hooked up to the wrong things. On record pressed. Really? Can you not record and stream at the same time? Is that not how that works? Huh? Let me try this. Can I record and stream at the same time? I'm just gonna do this live. Let's press. You can if you have multiple OBS. No, oh no, you can start recording at the same time. Am I sending the wrong thing? Am I dumb? Yeah. Recording is saved to my videos, right? And we go to videos here. Yeah, there's my recording that I just took just now. No, that works. Why does this not work? Am I dumb? Start recording. Stop recording, blah, blah, blah. That's why. I'm dumb. Start recording. That's why. I'm a huge dummy. Also, let's do one of these. Demo. Right format PC. What do you mean right format PC? What does that mean? So examples, this will just be our demo, but we never want to run the demo. Here we'll want to do stream text is equal to start streaming. This one will be stop streaming. Yeah. Or I think I might want to have that stuff. I don't know. You should be able to ever have that feeling that people don't remember conversations and just judge you based on the feeling they felt being with you? Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. That's like the majority of my interactions. I think I tend to be fairly surprised when people actually like remember things that I told them. Like, wow, that's weird. I feel like most people, they're just like, oh, you know, Tim is like that dude. He's kind of quiet. He's says things we don't really understand, but we just smile and nod and hope he shuts up at some point. And all right, yeah. Sounds about right. Alright, here we go. So OBS, start recording. I think I should have like some sort of output box somewhere here, so it's not just this stuff. So start recording. Oh baby, it works. Alright, cool. So there's no indicator here right now for if it works or not. I can add something like that for sure. So let's stop recording. Look at that. So you see here, that's the USA for you. The rest of the world, people bring up stuff from past conversations. Yeah, I should mention that most of my experience is from the US. Pretty much all my experiences is from the US or from I guess Hong Kong, where my experience is mostly the same. Though that might be because I was conversing in English. Look at that. It works. So I think technically if I press stop streaming now, or no, you know what? How do you query the current streaming state? So is recording, start, stop. Oh, this is toggle start stop, but I don't care. Oh, okay, get recording status. Okay, so get recording status, and then I'm assuming that there's like a get streaming status. Okay. So we can do this. So on OBS updated, OBS will emit several things. So this is the WebSockets. Send command, I know this works, how nice. WebSocket disconnected. Really? Oh, it's because it refreshed, so it kind of broke itself. All right, disable yourself. Yeah. So before I forget, let's do get init, and we'll hit it with vim readme. So this is OBS WebSocket GD. Let's see. A Godot 3x add-on. A Godot add-on to interact with OBS WebSockets. Tested on Godot 3.4. Yeah, there we go. Git add all. I think it's better to do that Windows and its buttons on the top side of the edit interface where the play button is pressed. Possibly. Wouldn't it be more like, since the idea of having this be a in-editor tool, right? If it's an in-editor tool, you're probably doing some sort of tutorial as well, right? So you would always want to have your, you know, whatever you're looking at present. Like, you don't need to have all the OBS information, you know, just taking up this big space here, right? Better thing to do Windows and its buttons on the top side. Or, oh, so like here. So, oh, you mean at the top right. Yeah. Well, the idea is, because you can kind of see, if we drag the OBS interface back into here. So the OBS interface has scenes, and that's where I want to do a lot more development, is that you can change the scenes just from Godot, and then also, you know, hotkey everything so you can do it from within your application as well. Right, so if you wanted to, you know, zoom out, zoom in, do all kinds of different captures, you know, you can basically do your demo for your game live. Right, and so the idea with this is that you'll be able to do, you know, something like this. So you can fade to this one, you can fade to this one, you know, something like that. I search for content creators, hide it as much as possible. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might make sense to have different versions of the plugin. So you would have, I guess, the minimal version, the ultra minimal version, which is just buttons in the top right. I'm thinking only for record on and off. Yeah. So there's different versions, right? So what I was kind of building for was scene switching, and then also being able to start and stop OBS from within Godot. Yeah, I think that is a valid use case as well, being able to just, you know, you have record, unrecord from just like a button in the top right here. That makes sense. That's a good idea. I don't know how you would do it though. How do you add buttons to this top part? I'm not super on top of everything when it comes to Godot plugins. Godot plugin, top right. Top right, by the way. Actually, that's bottom right. Bottom right, by the way. Let me see. I know one plugin that puts an icon there. Okay, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? Inspector plugins. I don't know. There's a lot of things that you can do. Plugin refresher. Plugin refresher. Plugin. Is it free and open source? Plugin refresher. Godot. Godot plugin refresher. Okay, there we go. MIT view files. Go July 10th. Nice, nice. Where's the plugin? Oh. Who is this? Who wrote this? Okay, so add control to container, container to, oh. Oh. They do some fancy stuff, yeah. Yeah. They do some fancy stuff. So add control to container. That's some of the low level stuff. Yeah. Add control to container. Yeah. So you need to like specify which container in the UI you want to add it to. Yeah. Okay. That might be interesting as well. That might be interesting. Maybe having both of these. Maybe I'll just. There won't. We can have two. Does it make sense to split it up into two add-ons, or maybe just have the one add-on that adds two controls? So you have the OBS one, which is the more fully featured thing, and then you have the button in the top right, which is just the stop and start. Right, I can do both of these from this little interface here. Plugin refresher text scene. I believe that's just a, yeah, this is just an HBox container that has some buttons inside of it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it's just a button. Interesting. Neat. Just make a full settings panel as you wish. Just add a few simple ones for convenience. Yeah, well, for my use case at the very least, what I was going for was just the OBS interface, but like in Godot. Why? I don't know. I think your idea is probably a bit more practical though, Bumd. Anyways, did I commit these yet? So git commit init. Let's go to, where's my repository? Did I not? I thought I created my repository, did I not? I'm gonna keep looking at this for now. I think this is a good reference. Plugin refresher. Let me see, where is my thing? OBS WebSocket GD. Git remotes, add origin. This thing, git push you, origin master. Dreams I've been after. Alright, let's stop singing. There we go. Really? Did I paste this in wrong? Push you. Okay, I just typed it wrong twice. But yeah, there it is. If you want to take a look at the code, it's there. Everything is there. Apache 2 licensed. You know, I think once I get like an editor plugin going, I'll probably make a post on the subreddit. And also on the Godot Discord. I did notice that on the Godot Discord they have a server role for like I made this. So I want one of those. I want one of those. Because I make a lot of things. You know, give me the role. Give me the role. I want to be someone who made this. But yeah. Look at this. I think here we can just do OBS updated. We can emit a signal with the message. Yeah. Update data string, and then this one will be emit signal. It's like OBS updated message. Well, Yeah, and then it'll just need to be parsed. Yeah. Okay. Then OBS UI, what we'll do is this will be OBS data string. So this will be some sort of string. I think I made it sound like I was gonna stop, and you know what? I think I am gonna stop. Wednesdays are shorter days, 100%, because I'm tired. Oh, you know, Wednesday is hump day. Recently found out at work that something was actually kind of my fault. But I've just been pushing it off onto someone else, but oh, actually, this is my fault. Turns out I've been sending curl commands incorrectly because I need to hit some internal endpoint with a certain key. But as it turns out, curl doesn't really work for whatever reason, but it works in Postman. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Probably working on this again, maybe working on an actual game, but probably this. Because I'm pretty close to being able to just release this as just a plugin that you can stick into your Godot editor for whatever reason. Check the curl version. There's a lot of reasons why things don't work, right? Even if I check the version, sometimes like the client just has their own version and they don't tell anybody. It's very strange. But yeah, you know, if you haven't already, give the channel a follow. Every follow helps. You know, give my project stars on GitHub. So pretty much this thing I made, it's on GitHub as under the name OpenCFaceGD. This thing also is not Stream Avatars, it's just my own thing. Under the name Friendly Potato Stream. You can find that free and open source on GitHub as well. Have a Discord in my description below if you want to join that. Submit big bug reports or just ask me questions about, you know, feature requests, etc. And yeah. Let's see, how many people do we have watching? 4? That's enough to raid somebody. Is there a small Godot channel we would like to raid? Yeah, later. Goodbye. Let's see. Let's raid let's raid this person. I haven't raided this person before. Raid. It's 1 of 5. Yeah, so get ready to get sense. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you later. Goodbye.
Show going on. We're just doing some programming. So welcome, Raiders. All right, let's go back. All right, let me clear the overlay here so we just see one set of disks. So kinda works. I don't know where the code is broken, but I know that I have a problem with here with the user manager that checks to see if users have timed out or not. Keeping like a floating array that I should just be using Mongoose properly. I feel like I'm not. So if we take a look at how we Hey, you're working on OBS overlay stuff with Godot? I sure am. This is what we have have so far. This is locally, but if I were to close this, start up the application on OBS here on my actual streaming computer, it would look like this. So you can see. Is it in this screen too? It's not. Here, let's. Is that gonna work? Well, you can kind of see it here, but yeah, it's. I was working on an OBS, Godot OBS integration. Yeah, so Team UN, I am using WebSockets with Node.js. So what happens is I have a transparent layer that I render, like a transparent window. You can actually see it. If I go back to here and I rerun it, you can see that in here it's completely transparent. And when you take Godot, thank you for the follow. When you take Godot and you render it as a capture window to overlay, and you disable the cursor, it's pretty cool. It acts as just like a transparent window where you don't have to have like a chroma keyed color. So it's pretty cool. You can deal with alpha channels at that point. Really cool. Yeah, I wrote a string avatars overlay with Godot using the same technique. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then the bot that communicates with Twitch is my disc bot here in chat. So you can do stuff like cam talk. Let's see if it actually. There it goes. Oh, and there I showed up because I chatted. Brendan Twitching, thank you for stopping by. Have a good evening. I hope the garage is all spick and span now.